everybody. Welcome to another episode of Politically Depressed. As always, I'm your host, Eamon McAdam. So, as I've done before, I'm going to issue another apology because I believe about 2 weeks went by and I didn't release an episode. And I'm sincerely sorry, and I hope you didn't miss me too much. But there are a number of reasons why that is. And basically, I'm just going to take this episode, take the next 20 minutes to share with you all what I've been up to, why I've basically been absent. Obviously, a lot has happened in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I have a lot of thoughts and things to share, but I'm just going to sort of check in this moment, let's say, and just share with you, what's been going on. So, first off the bat, if you can notice for the bat-eared amongst you, if you notice a difference in sound, I'm in Belgium. I usually come every 2 or 3 months, and as always, it's great. I'm having a really good time. It's very nourishing, and so that's one thing. Secondly, and this is much more to the point, I released my latest video essay. Last week, I wrote it, I did it, I filmed it, I edited it, and I put it out there. It's the one on psychology, and I'm very happy with it. It's kind of the summation of the whole premise of this podcast. I talk about why I can't stand the field of psychology as it exists today, why I find it so lacking, and I give very concrete examples and explanations as to why it's to me such a limited field, but also does not feel applicable to me and to a lot of people who are experiencing collapse. And I don't know, I share other examples as well. I talk about Viktor Frankl and meaning-centered therapy, and I connect it all to Palestine because that's the main thing on my mind, and I think most people's minds. But if you like this podcast, go check out that video essay. It's on YouTube. I'll put the link in the show notes, of course. And I'm kind of proud of myself. I think I said when I was talking about it last that I did want it to be a quicker thing, not consume months of my life just for a fucking video essay. And I don't think the quality suffered because of it. I mean, if you do feel that way, please do share. I really need that feedback. There is a feeling I have where it's I did skim over some stuff, but it's stuff that I didn't really want to talk about, methodological critiques of psychology, which I find interesting, but I don't know. I really wanted to jump into shit's fucked and we need to figure out how to cope or endure or, deal with it at a psychological level. But anyway, I think it's pretty good, and I like it. And so there's that. My new video essay on psychology is out on YouTube. It's an hour long. There are some jokes, but a lot of interesting insights, I think. What else is there? Oh, so as many of you may know, April 13 of last month, the 13th of the month of April, which just passed, marked the 50-year anniversary of the start of the Lebanon Wars. It is a very complicated history. Most people talk about it as the Lebanese Civil War, but I kind of refuse to do that because it's much more than just a civil war. Anyway, to mark that, I've been doing film screenings. I've kind of created a little temporary film club. I don't know if people have seen, if you're on Instagram and you follow me, but basically I curated 5 films about the wars. And every Sunday I get together with a bunch of people, we watch a film and we discuss it. And we just did the 3rd film yesterday, which was a film by Jocelyne Saab called Beirut My City. Phenomenal film, unbelievably poetic and insightful, and just a brilliant film. And the discussion afterwards was really nice. It was about, I think 10 of us or something, so relatively small, but sizable. And yeah, I just think these are really good ways of people engaging with this type of like history, things that are very complex and honestly a bit emotionally difficult. So it's like nice to be amongst community, learning and unlearning. And so that's another thing that I've been doing once a week for the last now 3 weeks. We've got 2 more scheduled, happening this Sunday and the next Sunday. If you're interested, again, I'll provide links below. The next film is honestly a must watch. It is so fucking powerful. The next film we're going to watch is called Sua Surviving Hell. The main character of it, Sahab Shara, is an inspirational figure. But more than that, just what the film shows, specifically the footage in the film of the liberation of the South, like the south of Lebanon in 2000. It's rare, beautiful, incredibly moving footage. And Suha herself, her story, the people around her. I don't know, I just think it's a very rich film. And then the last film we're going to watch in 2 weeks, The Last Days of the Man of Tomorrow, genuinely my favorite short film, like period. Like not my favorite Lebanese short film, just my favorite short film. It is genius. It is brilliant. It's a magnum opus, if you will. But specifically to the Lebanese context, it's also very interesting. So yeah, that's another thing I've been doing, these film clubs. I had been doing something similar last year around Palestine, and this one is like a new incarnation of that sort of project, and I'll probably do more stuff like this. And yeah, if you're interested in cinema, in history, in learning and unpacking things together, if it's the kind of thing that you don't want to do alone because it feels like difficult, like not just emotionally, but also it's like a lot of information and you're like, okay, so you end up opening up like 20 Wikipedia pages, but then you discover that Wikipedia pages on Lebanon are atrocious and so biased that they become like you read it and you have to unlearn more than you actually learn or whatever. So this is a space where it's like me and sometimes Elia, we can answer questions. We can clarify or like elaborate on some stuff. But also there's just a nice space of just like, I don't know, sharing space with people. Anyway, so that's another thing that I've been doing over the last couple of weeks that's kept me away from this podcast. Another big thing is that I have been taking on a more like direct role within the From the Periphery collective. We've been doing a lot of strategizing and sort of really building up the kind of structure of the collective as a whole, not just as like a compilation of podcasts or projects or writers, but a thing of itself. And so one thing I've been working on a lot is a new website, and it's coming together really well. I'm very happy with it. And most importantly, something that I've only just started working on like really intensely is merchandise. And here I would love to hear from people. Would you be interested in buying merchandise of stuff like From the Periphery or even just of Politically Depressed? And so obviously you see the cover art for this podcast. It's brilliant because it's Hisham. Would you buy that if it was in a mug or stickers or a t-shirt? Is that something that people would be interested in purchasing? We're going to do it anyway, but it's like, that's another thing that we'd love to have feedback from people of like, what works, what doesn't. Would you be more inclined to buy stuff if it had like a personal touch that like we signed it and sent it off? Obviously that would cost a lot more, but like, is that the thing? But yeah, so like that's one aspect of what I've been doing. And it's taken a bit of time, but it's something that I think is necessary. And it's also just a nice thing. I think people do want to have some of the stuff. Like I would love to have a mug. I have a very wide collection of mugs actually, which is a very long story of why I have those. But yeah, so that's on the FTP side of things. I've also been doing a lot of like collective work, strategizing and thinking together how to build community around this work. it's very interesting because it sort of made me really reflect on some things that I've been experiencing in this podcast, like over the course of the last year and a bit, which is like this almost feeling of mutual exclusivity between being honest and earnest and forthcoming and vulnerable and like clear about my anti-capitalist politics, and then being like, so if you like this podcast, please give me some money. I've definitely talked about this before. I think I've resolved that conflict in my own heart, like, because it's not this one-to-one that it's like, hey, I did this labor. If you appreciate it, it's open to the public. That's a part of it. It's available to anybody. But if those that can pay for those that can't, Anyway, but at a group level, at an organizational level, it starts to get a bit more interesting, let's say. And so I've been grappling with those thoughts. I mean, not just personally, like collectively, we've been thinking about these out loud, the kind of us as a collective that's like, we're doing these podcasts and we're trying to bring in some more money so we can just like basically pay ourselves. Like we're never going to be doing this for profit. Versus, our anti-capitalist politics. Which again, I think it's fine. It's less of a square peg in a circle hole, more like a circle peg in a square hole. Like it fits. It's kind of awkward. Anyway, other than that, I've been doing relatively okay. The last episode I released, I dealt with some stuff that was very raw. And I'm still very much so dealing with those things. But basically, I'm just dealing with those things, but able to do stuff. I don't know exactly where I'm getting the energy from. I'm taking multivitamins. So if my mother is listening, then, that's being taken care of. And the multivitamins does have magnesium in them. But I don't know. I think I do have some purpose attached to this work. And so continuously doing it is constantly nourishing. And I've just been focusing a lot of my time and attention and efforts into this work. Not just this podcast, but then the FTP podcast and then the FTP collective and the video essays. So I guess that's like, and I realize I don't do much else. Like, I've kind of identified the things that mean something to me, and so I just kind of narrowly focus on that. And kind of clocking the nice moments otherwise, the moments where I'm laying down with my partner and my cat, and I'm like, in this moment I am happy. I think that's a really good practice, like clocking those not so rare, but you know what I mean? Like distinct moments where it's like, actually right now, I'm happy. Happiness, as I've come to learn, is not like a state of being, but are sort of moments. Anyway, sorry, that was a bit philosophical. It wasn't that philosophical, it wasn't that deep, I don't know. But anyway, I'm sure I've mentioned it before. But other than that, I'm very interested to hear from you listeners. How's it going? I realize that I should ask this more often, because I actually do want to hear from people that listen to this. How are you doing? How are you coping? How are you enduring? Have you listened to my video essay? Okay, so sorry, that sounded like a weird third question, but basically, I ask pretty similar questions in my video essay that I do in this podcast. But all the responses, I've gotten so many responses from people. Like this video essay, it has the lowest like to dislike ratio of any video from the FTP collective. And it seems like psych majors and psychologists are like super triggered and super upset. And not only do they downvote the video, but they also leave these lengthy ass comments that basically amount to, "Nuh-uh, you're just not looking deep enough. There is stuff in psychology. No, don't say that. That's not true. You don't know what you're talking about." Which is a part of the critique, that there is so little self-critique within psychology. But anyway, But there are things that I like fully flesh out in that video essay that I do want to hear from people. Like, are you feeling this way? I mean, I know people are feeling this way, but then are the next things that I talk about, are those helpful? Is that a thing that people have considered or, have tried and it's failed, or they've never heard of it and they're looking into it and whatever? Like Viktor Frankl or Samah Jabir, Sorry, those are kind of name drops, but if you have listened to my video essay, I would love to hear comments that are like kind of actually responding to what is clearly the main point of the video essay. You know what I mean? Like, it's split up into like 5-6 parts. It's only an hour long. And all the comments are like super focused on the first 20 minutes, which is the bits that I care the least about. I enjoy it. I had fun doing it. I think it's funny and I do believe what I'm saying, but I just don't really care to make those arguments. My main interest is in like the second half. But yeah, so I think I'll just wrap it up there. It was going to be a shorter episode to begin with anyway, because yeah, a lot has happened in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I don't want to get into any one thing because I won't be able to do it justice. But I did just want to do this episode to like reach out and, I'm still here and I still plan on doing this, and I'm going to get back into the routine of like the weekly releases. But yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of very good reasons that I haven't been around for this podcast. And, I'm still around. Like, if you want to see more of me, I'm in the film club every Sunday. We meet on Zoom. It's for Patreon members, and if you don't want to become a member, you can buy a one-time like access to the watch parties. And yeah, otherwise, yeah, the video essay, and I'll probably be trying to do more stuff on the FTP podcast. But yeah, as I said, I'll try over the next few weeks to go back to that weekly regular release. So with that said, I think I'll just wrap it up there. Thank you again for listening to this episode. If you enjoy this podcast, please consider supporting me by a number of ways. You can leave a tip in the tip jar below. You can become a monthly member of our Patreon, or just leave a rating or a review wherever you're listening, and, to help with the algorithm, and also help spread the word in the organic algorithm of society by telling your friends or family. And so with that said, I'll see you all next time.